consider yourself a fighter or an artist?
I definitely consider myself an artist, and that goes into my fighting and into anything I do.
I have an assignment.
Did you find any similarities between fighting and acting? I mean, they're kind of similar in a sense.
Well, I found that, you know, you get the same adrenaline rush off of acting and the same form of expression, like vulnerable expression that you do in fighting.
Like, to me, acting is all about, like, kind of finding that perfect moment or the perfect groove, and then kind of getting lost in it. You learn a bunch of tools, and then you hopefully can jump off and forget and just do. Did you ever find any of those moments for yourself in the film?
Well, I definitely felt more free to express myself, more confident, I think, in the physical scenes. But what Soderbergh did with me was he kept me busy the whole time. Like, regardless of what I'm doing, I'm always being physical, picking up a glass of champagne, walking. Anything he could do to keep me moving, I think, was a key to dealing with a little bit of an amateur actress.
What's the most fun thing in all this? Like, give me the funniest thing that happened to you. I heard about the Pinky story.
Do you hear about the vase story?
No.
So there was this vase that I slammed into Fassbender's head, and there was this one part where he slams my head into the wall, and Soderbergh's right there, and he's like, you know what, that wasn't hard enough. I don't know if he was upset with me on that day, or he just really didn't get that shot, but he wanted my head to go so far and hard into this wall. And he was like, okay, you know, Michael, you really got to go for it there. And I was like, okay. And so then I go to pick up the vase, and I'm supposed to throw it right past him because he's not on film at that point. So I have to throw it past him. But I'm telling you, he put my head so hard into that wall, I just went back to what we'd habitually been doing, and that was me smashing the vase in his face. And so he said, he saw my eyes just kind of click, and he knew it was coming. He just turned his head, and I slammed it into his head, and I remember thinking, I'm so fired right now, and people are going to be really upset, and he just kind of laughed and shrugged it off and was like, no, I knew it was coming.
The story will be that she's gone rogue.
You can tell me right now why you sold me out, or you can tell me in 10 minutes when I have my hands around your throat.
Now, I cover PEDs in the sport. That's something that I'm very passionate about. Give me your thoughts on Chris Cyborg getting popped for using stanozolol, and does that change the way you look at the fight?
You know what, my heart really goes out to her in a way, because I know she's not a bad girl. You know, we all have these certain things in life that we do, you know, whatever it is, we're all human beings and we're not perfect. So that's like something that she's gonna have to, because everybody already assumed it, but to have it backed up, you know, was unfortunate for her, because she's gonna have to live with it, you know. And I don't think twice that she is going to come back a stronger person, because this is going to be a trying time for her, you know, in the next year. Having people look at her as, you know, I don't want to say it, but a cheater.
Cheater.
Right. But I know that she's, you know, maybe somebody around her was telling her the wrong advice. You know, maybe somebody around her wasn't giving her, and that can happen a lot. But at the same time, I'm hurt, you know. Like, I didn't want to hear that either, because that was the biggest fight of my life. And so, of course, that was always, everybody was always trying to tell me, well, you know, she's on steroids. And I was like, don't take away her physicality. You know, she's never tested positive for it, you know. So at the same time, you know, that was a moment in my life where I never, ever wanted to hear that. I could have lived the rest of my life without hearing that.
Haywire. I've never done a woman before.
You shouldn't think of her as being a woman. That would be a mistake.